everybody, welcome back to Crick Tracker's special show In the Air with me, Nivedna Prabhu. We are discussing everything to do with day one of the India-Sri Lanka second test match जो हो रहा है in Bengaluru. Now, day one where, it kind of panned out for both the teams and where they've left off. What else can we look forward to day two? ये सब हम discuss करेंगे हमारे post-match analysis में. अगर आपको कोई comments करने हैं and you want to make predictions for tomorrow as well, do that in the comment section. And without wasting time, let me bring on my first guest, Pratyay Tiwari, joining me in the studios. Of course, Pratyay did, tell us during the day in the pre-match that India will be, probably having an upper hand. Looking at the first test and looking at the second test, do you expect the fall of wickets to be like it was for India, Pratyay?
Well, I think the track had to play a big role because I don't think it never looked like a first day track or even a first session track, because as early as the first session, you saw there were puffs of dust, and the way the ball was turning and the bounce, even, I mean, it was not at all reliable at all. And I think never really looked like a first day wicket, as I said, probably looking like we were already in the third day of the test match or probably fourth day of the test match. So I think it was down to that. 16 wickets falling, you do not see that very often on a single day's play, and that too being the very first day of a match. So I think it was down to that, but I still think 252 on this track. It's a massive score. It's as good as 400, 500 somewhere else, because we are seeing what is happening with Sri Lanka, 6 wickets down and just for 86 runs. So I think India is right now looking very firm as far as taking a lead is concerned, and I think that if they can manage even a 70-run lead, even a 50-run lead, that 50 or 70-run lead here would be as big as a 150-run lead, because every single run is much more precious on this particular track as compared to any other in the world. So I think, and of course, with the pink ball, we haven't seen, I mean, too many high-scoring encounters. So I think we are again in for an early finish. If I were to predict, I don't see this match going into the fourth day even.
Okay, so that is of course a prediction from Pratyay side, and of course analyzing what happens on day one, you pretty much know what's going to happen on the remaining days. Probably we felt like homework would have been done from Sri Lanka's aspect, but the bowling of from the Sri Lanka side, especially Praveen Jai Vikrama, proved to be good for that side. We'll come to that in a bit to analyze each performance here. Of course, if you happen to look at it, 3 wickets, 17.1 over. I will get Pratyay's viewpoint about that as well. But before that, let's take a quick look at the scorecard to see where they left off on day one. Sri Lanka currently trailed by 166 runs. Shreyas Iyer once again proving quite effective with the bat, 92. We of course know what he managed to do in his debut test match, where he did get that century as well. Lekin we will talk about all these amazing performances. Lekin who were all of you most impressed with? Tell me that in the comments section. This is where they are currently at the moment. Matthews, of course, just stepping up for Sri Lanka with contributing 43. Now coming back to the game, we will speak about some key performances, including Lasith, Praveen and Shreyas, as well as Bumrah's. If you could take a look at all these performances one by one, and we'll get Pratyay's viewpoint about the same. Talking about Lasith, he has proved to be lethal even in the first test. So, Pratyay, no surprises for guessing. Once again, picking up 3 wickets at an economy of 3.90.
Well, I think yes, he got the wickets, but again, if you look, the runs he conceded, I mean, and the run rate, the economy in particular was actually a bit of a concern for their bowlers, because, as I said, that despite losing wickets, what India managed to do was they managed to score runs and score those runs very quickly. So I mean, 252 probably would not look a lot, but when you factor in all that has been happening on this track, when you see these kind of things, uneven bounce and puffs of dust coming as early as the first day, then you know that these runs are a lot more crucial. I think where Sri Lanka would be disappointed is that in Mohali, they were not able to pick wickets. They allowed too many partnerships. The lower order of India managing to score close to 350 runs. Here they got to manage wickets, but then they were not able to keep a flow of, I mean, control the flow of runs, which is where I think they would be a little disappointed, because after, I mean, 86 for 4 odd, you would not expect probably that kind of a counter-attacking knock. Credit, of course, to Shreyas Iyer for the way he batted, but I think he allowed, Sri Lankan bowlers actually allowed him to, maneuver the field and then play and dictate the conditions as per his own whims and fancies. I think there is where they actually lost a bit of the game as far as day one is concerned. But of course, I think if you look at this knock. I mean, 98 balls, 92 runs. It barely felt like you were watching a test innings. The way he was dominating, and towards the fag end, He had to even ignore a few singles. He had those chances because he was batting with the tail, so his strike rate would have probably could have been even higher. But then 10 fours, 4 sixes, pretty much of a counter-attacking knock, and of course taking India to that what right now looks like a winning first innings lead or winning first innings total. That is the, I mean, credit goes to, of course, Iyer for maneuvering the field the way he did and attacking the way he attacked the spinners. Quality player, of course, you rightly mentioned, because we saw what he did on his debut, and I think just taking it forward in this particular game as well.
Right, and I think at the end of the day, if you happen to look at it, he was, one of those favorites in the T20 or the ODI format. So nice to see his journey in Test cricket, as well. But so talking about performances, someone who proved pretty, lethal with the ball, no surprises for guessing, is Jasprit Bumrah. Let's quickly take a look at his stats. In 7 overs, having picked up 3 wickets at a superb economy of 2.10 and just having leaked 15 runs. I mean, you can't even call it leaked, right? Pratyay, coming to you, Bumrah is someone, of course, who's, India's premier bowler. Everybody looks forward to, or rather relies on Bumrah to be taking those crucial wickets as well. But what is it like? What do you think about Bumrah in the Chinnaswamy Stadium track? Do you think that has an added effect?
Well, of course, I mean, the way he operated with the new ball, I mean, getting those edges, proper, genuine edges, and the way he operated, I mean, in tandem with Shami, you really did not feel the need, because what we saw with Sri Lanka was that the spinners, despite being dominated, there was plenty of turn and there was a lot happening with the ball when the spinners were in action. But when Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Shami came into ball, you really did not feel that you had the need of spinners at all, because the way they were operating with it. And I think economy is the important part here again, because see, those 3 wickets coming at an economy of 2.1, that means he's not just picking wickets, but he's also controlling the flow of runs, which is exactly where Sri Lanka lacked, because we saw that 4.7, 4.5, that is too much for a spinner, because on this track, if you're conceding runs close to 4, 5 and over, then of
Yeah.
course you have not had the best of days. And I think even the overall run rate, if you actually look, the pace at which India managed to score those runs was impeccable, because I mean, 250 runs, that those all came in quick time. So I think that this is where the lack of capitalization came to haunt Sri Lanka a little bit. That they actually managed to pick wickets, but then they were not able to manage the flow of runs. So I think, and when they have come out to bat, they are already 6 down for 80, 85 odd. So I think there's a mountain of runs to climb, and not to forget, there's not too much of batting left. Even towards the fag end of the day, Angelo Matthews, I mean, just close to the stumps, he got out. So I think had he been there, probably Sri Lanka would have had a glimmer of hope, maybe. But now it's looking all dark and gloomy for them going into day two, because there's a lot
Right,
of runs
and
they have to
probably
score.
not a kind of test series that they would have wanted, because at the end of the day,
Mm.
even in the first test match, probably the kind of runs that India scored, it looked like a really huge task. But despite the fact that they managed to get India in that particular first innings and still managing to lose all their crucial wickets, it also puts pressure in a format like the test game. But I'll quickly take some comments coming in. Everybody saying hello to Pratyay and me. Hi from both of us. We're very glad that you all could join us. Himanshu says you're doing a fabulous job. Well, we're happy that you're enjoying all the points that our cricket guest Pratyay has for you. If you have something to tell him, put that in the comment section. I'm pretty sure he'll be very happy to be answering it. And अगर आपको कोई predictions बनाने हैं, or you think what Sri Lanka can really work on, or is it too late? Let me know that as well in the comment section. And on the other hand, let's talk about what's happening on social tracker. Pretty sure many of them have reactions as to what's happening with this particular game. So let's take a quick look at social tracker पे क्या हो रहा है. Sachin Tendulkar having tweeted, great counter-attacking batting from Shreyas Iyer on a track that was helping the spinners. His footwork was very good, and because of that, he made batting look easy. Well, the god of cricket says it, then well, your report card is absolutely top notch. Mumbai Indians saying just another in office for Boom, just another day in office for Boom, 2 wickets in 2 overs, and he's put India right on top. Kolkata Knight Rider says, wait, what? Of course. And why not, right? The captain. Boom, boom, Bumrah, what a start in the second test match is what Ashutosh Srivastava has tweeted. Okay, so just summarizing everything here, some top knocks. Whether we're talking about the first test where we had Jadeja and Pant do it for India, the second test, now we have another two talented people, Bumrah, and of course, we also have Shreyas Iyer proving effective with the bat. So it's going to be another interesting day tomorrow. Lekin, before we wrap up, Pratyay, I know you probably would say that, it is a task for them from here. But what is the hope, or which player, let's say two players, which can change things for them? If not a big defeat, maybe a small one, if you have to look at it that way.
Yeah, I think the first thing that will be on their minds is to get as close as this total to the Indian total as possible, because 150, 160 runs, it's a lot on this track. And
Yeah.
the pace at which Indian scores, they have not been able to come even slightly close to that, because the run rate has not been that great, and they have already lost, as I said, 6 wickets is a lot, so you do not have too much in the bank. So of course, I mean, they will of course not be. You would hope that they would not be wrapped up on a total which is on the follow on. So they have avoided that, because of course India had only 252. So of course that has been taken care of. But I think if they are allowed, if they are giving anything of a lead which is close to even 60 or 70, as I said, that is going to be very crucial. So I think as much as they can cut down on this total that they have, that would of course be an important factor. And not to forget that bowlers, I think it was not that they were not bowling well. Of course, it was a combination of Indian batters dominating and batting really well, and of course a little bit of indiscipline that Sri Lanka allowed to creep in. So if they have to come back in this match, of course after cutting down this total as close as possible, reaching to it, they have to ensure that they do not be as they do not allow the Indian batters to dominate the way they did in the first innings, because otherwise I don't think that there would be anything left for Sri Lanka. They're already two behind, 16 wickets on a day falling. That means the test match has already started. Primary concerns for them going into day two, to come as close to the total, and then with the ball try to control and wrap up India as quickly as possible.
Right. So I think they would have to, of course, prove lethal with the ball, or rather, get those crucial breakthroughs. Otherwise, you will just see performances like Jadeja, Pant, and Shreyas Iyer continue, which they probably wouldn't want. But on that note, we are, of course, all hoping for a good day of cricket tomorrow. Let's hope that Sri Lanka comes with, more force, and probably, want to change things around for their team as well. Dusri taraf, Pratay, before we wrap up, Himanshu wants to know how many days will this match last?
I think I answered that even at the start. I think I don't see it going in day four, because 16 wickets fallen. If you have another 16 wicket or 15 wicket day, you are nearly towards the end. So I really do not. I would be very surprised if this test match goes into the fourth day. I expect it to be over by 2.5 days or three. I mean, at best 3 days. Day three.
Okay. Okay, so I think that way our producer would be very happy because he went to watch the match today. So probably if he was planning to go a day for, then it would have happened. But on that fabulous note, Himanshu, thank you for your question. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Pratay, as well. But don't worry, we will be back tomorrow once again to discuss everything that went down in the second day of this test match. So do join us only on Crick Tracker. Until then, of course, take care of yourself.